Welcome, 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 welcome to the channel. I am your host, Chemotherapy. You know, this podcast, Unlearning to Grow, is a journey that is centered around undoing limiting beliefs, getting rid of bad habits, and bettering ourselves. You know, the intention behind it is to create a concept that is simple and at the same time sifts through, finds the root concern, and in hopes finds solutions that can help us to facilitate environments that can help us heal and grow continuously. You know, and how we go about unlearning limiting beliefs. And by limiting beliefs, I mean like, I am not ready. You know, a lot of us have said it before. We're not ready. And opportunities usually pass us by. But usually we don't recognize that we usually are prepared. And that is why opportunities present itself. And all we had to do was just engage. Because if you think about that first job you had, most of the times we never have any on-hand experience, but we end up doing it anyways. You know, like there comes a point where you even remember say, oh, I made it nervous, or I couldn't do this or do that, look at me now. You know, and that is actually linked with fear of failure. Because once it is, we're not ready, we usually don't want to fail. And we usually become perfectionists, and I can tell you, I'm a victim of that. And if you are, you can actually share in the comments your experiences and maybe things that you did that actually help you, because you can be sharing gems that can help someone who's going through the same situation like you. But yeah, for limiting beliefs, fear of failure, my friend told me the other day, we don't lose, you know, or we don't fail, we always start with experience. You're starting again with experience, is what she said, you know. And it's true, because usually if you job jump or if you lost a job, you realize the skills that you had from that can help you with this new one. So even though that didn't work out, you have things where you can actually apply it and make you a better person, make you better at the role. You know, so yeah. And the next thing too, so the final thing would be bettering yourself. And you know, honestly, for us to do that, we have to come to terms with ourselves. We have to look on ourselves, look within ourselves and ask, who are we? You know, and are we doing the things to get us to where we want to? And usually, what we can do or pay attention to is what you take in. You are what you eat. So it's not just the food where you eat, but also what you consume. Whether it be a movie, a song, conversation that you partake in, all these things will affect you. Because what you focus on is what comes out. Yeah, so with tackling it head on, it allows us to be bare and ask ourselves questions, and the answers will come easily. So we start to ask the how and the what questions. How can I improve? What can I do? And the answers will present themselves to you. Yeah, so even though this has been said a lot, I know it still needs to be heard, you know. And on this journey, you have to be patient. Every time you go up, you have to be patient with yourself. It's a process. And we have to see the process, understand the process, and feel the process. And understand that what we're going through is for us. It didn't happen to us, it's for us to teach us something, because time or things will repeat itself until you learn. And as we get older, we take on more responsibility, so the lesson become heavier. So until we learn from it, we won't see any change. So for me, the podcast is I want to create a community. A space where persons can come. If you have no one to talk to, you can come and you reach out. You go through the comments, because I know persons will drop them, and share them experiences. Like everybody I go through it, everybody. Each one help one. Because there's so many things you have experienced that can better somebody, but there's still things you haven't experienced because you haven't experienced all of the world. And if that person can come to you and share their knowledge, drop the gems that you catch it and you do the right thing. So that's what I'm here to promote. That's what I stand for. So on the next episode, what I'll do is I'll dive more into looking within ourselves, and also things that I use to be present. Because if you're not present, we can't actually look within ourselves. And what I mean by being present is, oftentimes we live in the past and the future, most of the past, because we've experienced that before. And as such, it's a narrative we can control. That's why sometimes I always say, boy, I could have said this after an argument, because I think about the best thing to say for come on top. So I can share some of the things that I use to stay present and acknowledge the things, so that's what this is about. Because oftentimes our demons are just the consequences of our actions, and if we don't deal with them, they will continue to be present. So that's what the podcast is about. And until next time, and remember, nothing grows in a comfort zone. Heart of love,